Yes, everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephen Howson, and this is a preview for Manchester United against Aston Villa tomorrow. Decent performance from United, I guess. Decent, not great. We lost but won the tie Thursday night. And I think a lot of people were probably disappointed by, one, the team selection, but actually that might have justified the team selection because when you saw some of the substitutions, I thought both the lads that came on at fullback looked really rusty. And this is one of the issues of sticking with 111 is when you call upon those that have been sitting on the sidelines for a minute, they're not ready to play. It takes a little bit of time to get into match rhythm, to get ready to be able to perform at the highest level. And you can't do that by not featuring for 3 or 4 months. It just doesn't work like that. You have to be played on a more regular basis. And if you played on a more regular basis, you're going to be more capable of starting. And rotation is going to be the name of the game this week. United have been absolutely shafted by the Premier League, probably trying to teach us a lesson for the Super League, probably trying to teach the fans a lesson for the protest, getting a game called off last week. So they've gone, we'll make it as hard as humanly possible for Manchester United over this next week. And I'm fully expecting United to be dropping points this week. Really am. It's just, there's no two ways around it. We're going to drop points. I hope it doesn't start with Villa because I think you've got, well, obviously the maximum amount of rest that you could go to. You can't really use tiredness as an issue for this game. Tuesday or Thursday, you absolutely can. But I guess we will see how it all comes down. So, right, Aston Villa. Dean Smith was flying at the start of the year. The injury to Jack Grealish has completely derailed their season. And even though I think most Villa fans, if you'd have told them top 10 finish at the start of the season, probably would have bit your hand off. It feels a little bit disappointing now because they was actually pushing for a European spot at one point. So they are currently 10th. They don't get much more mid-table than that, but if they manage to beat us, or even I think with a draw, they will go above Arsenal, who are in 9th, who they've actually got a game in hand over as well. So they've lost 2, won 2, and drawn 1 in their last 5 Premier League games. It's mid-table form, for want of a better word. And they have won only 1 of their last 5 at home. United have got a pretty good record historically at Villa Park. It's often regarded as United's second home. We love playing there. I think one of the reasons we love playing there is because you get a good allocation and there's a ton of away fans and they make a lot of noise because it's close enough that loads of you can travel and far enough away that you're smashed by the time you get there. Now, Starman, Ollie Watkins. I think in the absence of Jack Grealish, he's become the most prominent figure. Got 15 goals and 4 assists in 36 games. He's also in a top 10 for the most big chances missed in the league with 13 of them. Which shows that he's getting into really good goal-scoring positions, but he's not quite finishing ones that you probably would expect him to or at the rate you would expect him to. The way Ollie plays is he likes to line up on the left-hand side of the centre of the pitch, and he loves diagonal runs, and I think this is making him quite difficult to track for defenders. He'll run diagonally both directions. He'll run towards the centre of the pitch, looking to come behind maybe the far side centre half, or he'll run diagonally and try and sort of double up on the fullback on that side as well. I think his off-the-ball movement is really good, and he's comfortable with both feet as well. I think because he's played on the wing previously, he's happy going around the outside as he is coming through the middle. I think one of the most fascinating skills of Ollie Watkins is how he exploits the space in between defenders. He's not massive. He's only 5'11", but he's really good in the air. He's got 3 headers scored, and might not be capable of winning duel after duel in the air against aerially dominant central defenders like, say, a Maguire. He seems to optimise the ability to score chances with opportunity and intelligent position and well-timed anticipation. Very much like Tim Cahill in that sense. You're like, isn't he about 5'9"? How's he scoring so many headers? Movement and intelligence and anticipation. And Ollie Watkins has got a similar sort of trait to him with that. Dean Smith, he is in love with the 4-2-3-1 formation. He does allow Villa to have a lot of fluidity when it comes to their formation, and they change in-game frequently as well. You'll see 4-5-1, you'll see 4-4-2, you'll see 4-3-3. They do like to mix it up, so you're not looking for any sort of particular formation for these guys. You're going to see players that are comfortable shifting the shape and it being as fluid as you like. Predicted 11, I think it would be Martinez in net and a back four of Target, Mins, Concert and Cash. A decent enough midfield with McGinn, Louise, Barclay, El Ghazi, and Traore and Watkins. Injuries, we've got Trezeguet, Wesley and Sansamau, and Grealish is a doubt, which is the big one, really. I think everyone's really bothered about. The way Villa play, they only average 48.7 possession, which is in the bottom half of the league, which suggests that they're not really bothered about holding possession as a team. And they really look to favour sort of quick, incisive attacks, and they're very, very effective on the counter-attack as well, as shown by how they absolutely blitzed Liverpool and Arsenal in that fashion this season. When they do hold on to the ball for a little bit while longer, it generally tends to be in the opposition half. They like to create overloads. This is more of a, when Jack Grealish is sort of playing, he likes to dribble. When you've got someone with the dribbling ability of Jack Grealish, that draws players, it draws fouls, and that's when you can move people out of position, and that's when they look to exploit. Maybe Jack Grealish is going down the left-hand side with it. Ollie Watkins finds himself on that side. Jack Grealish beats one man. Now you're in a numerical advantage, and then someone else gets drawn to the ball. It leaves Ollie Watkins in space. That's one thing that I think, when you've seen the obsession with the tiki-taka style of play, the art of the dribble has been lost. The art of someone moving the ball through space by dribbling. People forget, when you're in possession, you've got three options. You've got pass it, you've got run with it, and you've got shoot. Those are the only three things that you can do when you've got a ball. Pass it, run with it, or shoot. And people seem to forget the run with it one. I think that's something that a lot of people just get, I've got to pass it, or, can I have a shot? And they forget that there's actually other things at play in all of this. In the absence of Jack Grealish on that left-hand side, El Ghazi has tended to fare pretty well in that area of the pitch when Villa do like to attack. Only United and Crystal Palace have utilised the left in more attacking moves more often this season. On the other side, Traore versus Shaw is probably going to be one to watch. Traore has the ability to be a match winner on the day and can be a little bit of a handful 1v1, especially when the ball's at his feet. But he's very left-footed though, so you want to show him down the outside rather than allow him to come in and try and muddle up in between Maguire and Shaw in that sort of space. I think you can find a lot of success by exploiting the space in between those two, because often that is where United can get stretched out. Now, Villa do also have a very good defensive record. They've only conceded 38 league goals this season. Only United, City, Arsenal and Chelsea have conceded less, so they're top five. And they also have the third most clean sheets as well, so they've picked up a lot of points on the fact that they've been pretty mean at the back and then they've gone and exploited people on the counter. Emilio Martinez also has the second best save percentage in the league. It's 77% behind Ederson, which is only 0.5% better. And Martinez has faced over double the amount of shots on target, 148 for Martinez and only 71 against Ederson. He's arguably the Premier League's best goalkeeper this season, certainly when it comes to just pure shot stopping. Now, Villa love to utilise width, and their fullbacks are also very adventurous. I like Matty Cash. I think Target's decent as well. And they're not shy in crossing the ball, having the second most attempted crosses in the league, only behind Liverpool with their spam sort of technique at 477. So that's something you can expect. Expect the fullbacks to push on if they decide to go for us, and expect them to try and whip balls in. And again, it's dangerous because Ollie Watkins' movement is extremely intelligent. Something that terrifies me is Watkins, because he favours that left-hand side, so our right-hand side. Ollie Watkins ghosting in behind Aaron Wan-Bissaka because Aaron Wan-Bissaka's not checked his shoulder or not turned his body and actually watched where he is. That's something that is a massive weakness for Wan-Bissaka. Shaw's not the greatest at it as well either. Too often facing his goal rather than protecting his goal and looking at both the ball and the runner. And I think that's somewhere that I think that Villa must have identified that they can hurt us, because it's certainly somewhere I've identified that they can absolutely hurt us. They are still also a team full of dynamic dribblers, and they favour this over the passing game, especially when it comes to the final third, and they have the highest success rate in the league with successful dribbles with 66%. A lot of that is Jack Grealish, and of course, he's probably going to be doubtful for this game, but it's something that you have to watch out for them. It's an effective way to draw fouls, and United are terrible with fouls in and around the box. And they favour the dribble probably more than the pass. They rank in the bottom half of the league in pass completion, and they can be found wanting with a little bit on their ball playing ability as well. So I think the decision to dribble is out of necessity a lot, and they actually prefer it into space so they can actually dribble. So, we'll see how that fares off against United. They are a good side, but they're a much better side when Jack Grealish is in it, because he really is the talisman in this team. And he's played very well every single time he comes up against United, because United are a front foot team, and we won't really care too much about, Jack Grealish is good, is he? Sound. We don't generally put too much emphasis on marking one person out of a game. So he often ends up having quite a lot more space than he would have against the bottom 10 team, and ends up having a pretty good game on the back of that. So how do United beat them then? So I think there will be rotations, but not this game. I think this game is the one that you can probably afford to go your strongest in, and it might be Tuesday and Thursday that get phoned in a little bit, or you see a bit more rotation. And I think Ollie's probably going to be quite worried with what he saw coming off the bench on Thursday night, because that wasn't impressive. Maybe it's just a little bit of rust. We can't afford to have this level of rust, and I think Ollie needs to take some of that blame by not blooding some of these players earlier in the season when there was the opportunity to do so. But anyway, my team: Hendo, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof and Shaw, McTominay and Fred, Rashford on the right, Pogba on the left, and we'll talk about why in a second. Bruno behind Cavani, who was sensational on Thursday night, I thought. Right, so United, to be on it against Aston Villa, you're going to have to play against our own biggest strength when it comes to this sort of game. Like, we would have loved to have played against a team that's going to dominate possession and try and hit them on the counter. That's what Villa are going to try and do to us. That's exactly what we like to do to teams. That's what Villa are going to try to do to us. They're going to sit deep. They're going to deny space, and they're going to try and hit us on the counter. Now, pace is not as important in this game. So Cavani, Pogba, that's why I've put them in the team over someone like a James or even Greenwood. You're going to need Paul Pogba's creativity alongside Bruno in this game, alongside the movement of Cavani. You've got to bring Pogba in. It's really going to favour someone who likes the ball at his feet rather than someone who wants to run in behind, and there's not going to be any space for him to run in behind in this one as well. They're going to be fairly resolute, they're going to be fairly deep, and they're going to be fairly static. So movement off the ball and really good ability in tight spaces is what's going to really lead United out of this one. We need to stop Ollie Watkins ghosting in behind Lindelof or isolating Wan-Bissaka when crosses are coming in. We how do you think that team does? Would you rest to that extent, or you need to double up on him somehow and try and prevent anything coming near him in the air? Because Ollie Watkins will hurt us if we allow crosses in, and certainly if we allow crosses in. The one that scares me is one coming from the right-hand side, because Shaw's not got out quick enough to close the fullback down as he's overlapped. Probably going to be Cash. As that ball comes in, it's gone, and it's a big looping cross where Watkins has ghosted in right behind Wan-Bissaka and managed to get his head on it. That's a move I can already see happening. And it'll be a ball 8 yards out from goal, and it'll be an absolute tap-in for him. And I can see that one all day long. That's one that I hope that United can fix. The defenders have got to stay on their feet, because Villa are very dynamic and they love to dribble, and they can beat you in the final third. Wan-Bissaka's either going to have the game of his life because he loves to come up against this sort of thing, or he's going to get caught out and he's going to give away a free kick or a foul. United, Fred especially, I think in this one as well, needs to watch how he is around the edge of the box. They're going to love a set piece in this if they get the opportunity. Don't be diving in. You've got the likes of Mings and stuff like that are going to get up the pitch and be dangerous from set pieces. Same from corners. You've got to stay on your feet. You've got to keep your discipline in this game, because the way they dribble, they're going to cause havoc, and you're going to bring them down. And with VAR, everything's a penalty, isn't it? Apart from sometimes when it should be a penalty. The fullback's going to love to bomb on. There's the opportunity. Once they do that, because they'll do that in fits and spurts throughout the game. First 15, 20 minutes, they're probably not going to do it. After that, around the half-hour mark, they'll get a little bit adventurous, and then maybe they'll close ranks again before half-time. That's the time when United need to quicken up our play. Pogba, 2 touches. Control it, ping it, get it in the final third. Cavani's quicker than I think we all think he is. And some of the goals that he scored by being on the shoulder of the last man, Mings ain't going to know what day it is if you play the right ball in for him. That's how you got to go. Tire them out. I think you might be able to get both of them fullbacks tired out. You might be able to move that line a little bit as well. Tire them out. Keep going for them. And look for where the spaces are going to appear, because they will appear. They are going to appear. Villa without Jack Grealish are vulnerable. And United are unbeaten in 24 away matches in the Premier League. Let's hope it stays that way following this weekend's game. Let me know your score predictions in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.